Hello everyone. So today we'll be taking up the daily quiz for the date 15th March 2024. So before getting into the actual discussion regarding the questions, so there is a very small announcement about the workshop that would be conducted this weekend. This workshop is regarding how to prepare for the civil service examination 2025, and all the details regarding this is given in the description box below. So now let us start the question. That is the first question. And in today's newspaper, this is the important news or the most important news. So what happened? I'll give this small context. So what happened? The former President Cowen's committee submitted one report on the simultaneous elections to the current president, President Murmu. So in this context, so we'll be taking up the question. The context is simple. Former president had one committee to analyze how to conduct simultaneous election. This committee submitted a report to the present president, that is your President Murmu. President Murmu. So again here, based on that, we'll take up one question. So regarding your election process. So which of the following statements are correct regarding the elections in India? So the first statement, Election Commission of India is responsible for conducting the elections for Lok Sabha, state legislature elections and your panchayat elections. What do you think? Does Election Commission of India conduct elections for your Lok Sabha, state legislature elections and your panchayat? Is it true? No, this is the basic thing that you have to know. This is the election process that you have to know. This statement is wrong. Again, here you should know that your Election Commission of India conducts elections only at the union level and at the state level, not at the local body level. Local body level is your panchayat and is your municipalities. For panchayat and municipalities, your Election Commission of India doesn't conduct any elections. So your Election Commission of India conducts elections, say, for your president, your vice president, your Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So this is at the union level. So for these things, Election Commission of India conducts election. At the state level, Election Commission of India conducts elections for your MLA elections. But however, what about your panchayat and municipalities? For panchayat and municipalities, we have a dedicated agency. That agency is called a State Election Commission. This you should know. A dedicated agency is created. So State Election Commission conducts election for your municipality election and your panchayat elections. Your Election Commission of India doesn't conduct any elections at the panchayat and municipality level. It is your State Election Commission conducts the elections. Say each state has its own State Election Commission. Say this is the State Election Commission of Maharashtra, like State Election Commission of Karnataka. Every state will have their State Election Commission. The duty of the State Election Commission is to conduct elections for your panchayat and your municipality level. Is it clear? So this statement is absolutely wrong. So this statement is wrong. What about statement 2? Though the term of Lok Sabha is fixed at 5 years from the date of its first meeting, while the term of state legislature is determined by the respective state governor. Is it true? Does the duration of the state legislature is determined by the governor? No, it is not determined by the governor. In fact, the constitution in itself determines a duration of both the Lok Sabha as well as the state legislature assembly. Again, for Lok Sabha, the Article 83 Clause 2 says that 5 years. Again, at the state legislature assembly level, the Article 172 Clause 1 says that the duration is 5 years with respect to the first meeting. So from the first meeting, 5 years. So whichever day they will meet for the first time, from that day till 5 years, that is the duration of both your state legislature as well as your Lok Sabha. So this statement is also wrong. So the answer would be D. So D is the answer. Is it clear? So again here, we'll go to the next question. Again, in the next question is also based on the report itself that was submitted by regarding the simultaneous elections. So in this report, it was clearly stated that in order to have simultaneous election, we require some constitutional amendment. And again, for the people who don't know what simultaneous election, in simple language, simultaneous election means conducting your Lok Sabha elections, your state assembly elections, and your municipality and your panchayat elections all in the same duration. So that is called as your simultaneous election. currently what is happening is that, so the elections of union government is at a different time, the elections of state government is at a different time. Say last year in Karnataka we had state election. This year 2024 there is union government election. So next year there will be few more states that would have elections. So it is not happening at the simultaneous level. That is, the union government and state government elections are not happening at a simultaneous level. But however, in this report, that the report that was submitted yesterday, in this report, even the municipality and your panchayat elections uh, is supposed to be held in the same duration. So simultaneous, this report focuses on conducting simultaneous elections for your union government, your state government, and your municipalities or panchayat at the same time, similar duration. So that concept is called as your simultaneous election in crux, in simple language. So in this context, we will take, so based on yesterday's report, it was told that in order to have simultaneous election, we require constitution amendment. So in this context, there is a question. So which of the following statement regarding the amendment process of the Indian Constitution are correct? So based on this question, so the first statement is the procedure for amending the Constitution is laid down in the Article 368. Is it true? Is it true that the entire procedure or the process for amending Indian Constitution is given in Article 368? This is absolutely true and it is factual, and if you are a serious aspirant, you should know this. These are the important facts that you should know. So this statement is absolutely right. So again, the second statement, Constitution Amendment Bill can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. Is it true? Can the Constitution Amendment Bill, can it be only introduced in Lok Sabha? No, Constitutional Amendment Bill can be introduced either in your Raj Sabha or in your Lok Sabha. It is not just in Lok Sabha. It is only the money bill that can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. Constitutional Amendment Bill can be introduced both in Rajya Sabha as well as in Lok Sabha. So this statement is absolutely wrong. So second statement is wrong. So second statement is wrong. We already get the answer. But however, we'll see to it. Okay, we'll see to the third statement. So amendment related to the federal structure of the constitution requires special majority in the parliament and the ratification by at least half of the state legislature. Half of the state legislature, in the sense 50% of the state assemblies in India should ratify any amendment in the constitution that deals with the federal structure. So if I have to summarize this third statement, the third statement says that if you have to amend any provisions in the constitution that deals with the federal structure, you require special majority in the parliament, that has to be supported by at least 50% of the state legislature. So that is your third statement. So what do you think? Is the third statement right? This is the absolutely right statement. Again, in the constitution, that is in the Article 368, it is clearly mentioned that if you have to amend any of the federal structures provisions in the constitution, federal structure provisions in the sense the provisions that shows the relation between your union and the state, so that is called as your federal structure. Whichever provision that shows the relation between your union and state, so those provisions are called as your federal structure provisions. And if you have to amend that provision, you require special majority in the parliament, as well as this amendment should be supported by at least 50% of the states. So that is explicitly given in Article 368. So this statement is absolutely right. So say for example, one classic example is that we know that GST bill, that is the 101st Constitution Amendment Act. This GST bill modified the federal provisions in the sense earlier state had powers for indirect taxation. So now under GST bill, state had to give their indirect taxation powers to the union government. So there is a modification in the federal structure. Earlier state had the power. So under the GST bill, this power was transferred from the state to the union government. So there's a changes in the federal structure, provisions in the federal structure relationship. Matlab the relation between your union and the state is getting changed. So if you have to approve this change in the constitution, you require a special majority in the parliament. So special majority in the parliament means 2/3 of present and voting, and which is supported by at least 50% of the total strength of the house. So this is special majority in the parliament. Along with this special majority in the parliament, this bill had to be supported by at least 50% of the state legislature with a simple majority. 50% of the state legislatures across India with with simple majority. Only then you can amend any of the federal structure provisions in the constitution. Is it clear? So this statement is absolutely right. So the answer would be C. So C is the answer. So now let us go to the next question. And in today's newspaper, again, it was highlighted that not so good news. That is, your Tamil Nadu tops the illegal trade in the shark body parts. So Tamil Nadu tops in the illegal trade in the shark body parts, and this was given by an agency called as Traffic. So now we'll have a question based on this context, that is, which of the following statement regarding traffic, the full form of traffic is the Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network. So this is the full form of traffic. So which of the following statement regarding traffic, the Wildlife Trade Monitoring Network, is or are correct? So for the first statement is traffic is an intergovernmental organization under the United Nations. What do you think? Again, mind you, traffic question had been repeated in UPSC. The statement which I am taking is directly from UPSC Prelims question itself. So traffic is an intergovernmental organization under United Nations. Is it true? Is traffic an intergovernmental organization? So for the people who don't know, intergovernmental organization means any organization that was formed by multiple governments coming together and creating one organization. Say multiple governments, say your government of India, government of US, government of say China, Russia, everyone come together to form one organization, that is called as intergovernmental organization. So is traffic an intergovernmental organization? No, traffic is not an intergovernmental organization. Rather, it is a joint initiative started by your WWF and your IUCN. So, traffic is not an intergovernmental organization. Traffic was started by WWF and IUCN. So, it is not by your governmental organization. Yes, but however, traffic do get some monetary support from the governments. Various governments give monetary support, but it was not formed by the government. So, this statement is absolutely wrong. So, traffic was formed by, it's a joint initiative of WWF and IUCN. So, statement 1 is absolutely wrong. So, what about statement 2? Statement 2, that is, the traffic primarily focuses on monitoring and combating illegal trade in the wildlife and plants. Is it true? Is it true? That is the actual crux of the traffic organization. So the traffic aims to control the illegal trade in wildlife and plants. If you see the mission statement of traffic, it says that, it's very simple, it says that in order it works to ensure that the trade in the wildlife and plant, that is a trade in the wildlife and plant, should not compromise the environment conservation. So what happens if there's an illegal trade in the wildlife and plants? What would happen? It would lead to poaching. It would lead to, say, killing of animals, say like this killing of this shark for shark body parts. If that leads to killing, then it will lead to the damages to the environment. And what does your traffic aims? Your traffic aims, or say the objective of traffic, is to control the illegal trade of wildlife so that the illegal poaching can be avoided, so that the illegal smuggling of plants and wildlife can be avoided. If we can avoid the illegal smuggling of plant and wildlife, so what would happen? We can protect the environment. That is the core objective of your traffic. So again, statement 2 is absolutely right. So the answer would be B is the answer. Is it clear? So now let us go to the next question. So the next question is regarding the Forest Rights Act 2006. So this was there in today's newspaper. Consider the following statement regarding the Forest Rights Act 2006. And again here guys, Forest Rights Act 2006 is kind of one of the most important law that was passed by the Indian Parliament in the 21st century. One of the most important law that was passed by the Indian Parliament in the 21st century. Again, this was a landmark law that uplifted the tribal communities in India. So earlier, say even during the British Raj, and to some extent even in the post-independence, the tribal communities were suffering due to the various illegal activities, or say various loss of their rights, of their own forest land. So this Forest Right Act try to remove all those injustice that was done to the tribal communities. That's the reason we call the Forest Rights Act as one of the most important act that was given by the Indian Parliament in 21st century. So consider the following statement regarding the Forest Rights Act 2006. Statement 1. The Forest Rights Act grants legal recognition to both individual forest dwellers and communities for the occupation and usage of forest land that they have been traditionally occupying and using. Is it true? That is the essence of Forest Rights Act. That is, earlier what was happening, there was no adequate rights that was given to the forest dwellers and the communities that was residing in the forest. So these are the people who were residing in that forest for thousands and hundreds and thousands of years. So but what happened during the British India, the British Empire? So they lost their rights. That is due to various British policies regarding the forest. So they lost their rights, and for the first time in independent India, the rights were actually given to the tribal communities to have adequate land rights in the forest areas. So this was that act, that is the Forest Right Act, gave the rights to the individual forest dwellers as well as the communities who are residing in the forest. So the land rights was given to them. So this statement 1 is absolutely right. And what about statement 2? The Forest Right Act empowers the Gram Sabha to initiate the process of recognition and vesting the forest rights to the forest dwelling communities. So the Forest Right Act told that we will give the rights, that the forest land rights, to the individual dwellers and the communities who are residing in the forest. But who is going to identify them? Who is going to identify which individual will get the right, or say which communities will get the right? So as per the Forest Right Act, it was the Gram Sabha that will identify. Gram Sabha will identify which individual or so which community will get that forest rights, or the forest land rights. So this statement is also absolutely right. So the answer is C is the answer. Is it clear? So both the statements are right. Is it clear? Fine. So we'll take up the next question. That's your PYQ, and this PYQ is based on the current affairs as well. So too much in news. That is your current CA, Citizenship Amendment Act. Too much in news. So based on that, we'll take out one PYQ as well. So with reference to India, consider the following statement. There is only one citizenship and one domicile. Domicile is your permanent residentship. So permanent residentship. So there is only one citizenship and one domicile. Is it true? Does India have only single citizenship? Is it true? So yes, it is true. But however, here you got to note that nowhere in Indian Constitution it mentions that India has single citizenship concept. But however, if you see your Article 19, it implicitly says that India has single citizenship. It says that if you take up any other citizenship, you lose Indian citizenship. Simple. Article 19 says that you take up any other citizenship, you lose Indian citizenship. So it means that India, Article 9 recognizes only one citizenship, single citizenship. So this statement is absolutely wrong, absolutely right. I'm so sorry. This statement is absolutely right. So that is, there is only one citizenship and one domicile. So Article 9 says that. So in the Indian Constitution, it is not explicitly mentioned that India has single citizenship, but Article 9 clearly states that you take up any other citizenship, you will lose Indian citizenship. It means that India has single citizenship. So that is the statement 1. And statement 2. So a citizen by birth can only become the head of the state. Who is the head of the state? Who is the head of the state? It is a honorable president. Honorable president is the head of the state. So a citizen by birth can only become the president, only become the head of the state. Is it true? No, it is not. So if you see your so if you see your Article 58, Article 58 says that one of the qualifications for being the head of the state is that you have to be Indian citizenship. That's it. So you can acquire, as per the Citizenship Act, please see here, as per the Citizenship Act, you can acquire Indian citizenship by birth or by descent, by registration or by naturalization. So these are the process through which you can get Indian citizenship. But the Article 58 says that one of the qualification for Indian president is that you have to be Indian citizenship. Article 58 doesn't tell that you have to be Indian citizenship by birth or by descent. No, Article 58 doesn't tell any of this. Article 58 simply says that you have to be Indian citizenship. Doesn't matter whether you get Indian citizenship by birth, by descent, by registration, by naturalization, in whatever way you get Indian citizenship, but you have to be Indian Indian citizen to be the president of India. So that is your Article 58. Article 58 doesn't tell what kind of, that is how do you get Indian citizen. That is not even mentioned in Article 58. So this statement is absolutely wrong. So that is your statement 2 is absolutely wrong. So what about your statement 3? A foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstances. Any circumstances? This is a bit extreme, right? See, citizenship is given by the union government. So union government is a sovereign entity. So how can it not modify its rights? So if you see here, the Citizenship Act 1955, so the section 10 of the Citizenship Act 1955, so clearly states that the union government has all the powers to deprive citizenship to the people who have acquired citizenship through registration or naturalization process. So the union government has all the powers under the Citizenship Act 1955 to take away the Indian citizenship from any of the people who have got Indian citizenship through registration or naturalization process. So this statement is absolutely wrong. So the answer would be A. A is the answer. So now we'll go to the fact of the day. It's a simple concept. So agroforestry. So what is agroforestry? Agroforestry is one method of land utilization or say land management where we practice agriculture. Along with agriculture, the trees are also planted. So the trees are also planted. So that concept is called as your agroforestry. That is you cultivate agriculture. Along with agriculture, you also plant trees. So that concept is called as agroforestry. If you see here, this is your agricultural cultivation. Along with this, you have trees next to the agricultural crop. This concept is called as agroforestry, and this is being promoted by the government of India. Why is it promoted by the government of India? The reason being that it has multiple advantages. So what are the advantages of this agroforestry? Again here, the one of the most important advantages of agroforestry is that it reduces soil erosion, and we know that the trees are very strong agents of binding the soil. Due to these trees, what will happen? The soil erosion can be reduced. And what will happen if there is a very strong wind that is blowing here? So the trees will break the wind, the trees will stop the wind. So as a reason, the wind erosion can also be reduced. So the agroforestry helps in reducing soil erosion, and we know that it is a topsoil that is the most fertile soil. If the topsoil gets eroded, the fertility of the soil will come down, and it is with agroforestry we can avoid this erosion of topsoil. So that is the first reason. And the second reason is agroforestry will help in climate change mitigation, and we know that your trees are the important source for carbon sequestration. That is, your trees absorbs a lot of carbon dioxide compared to your agricultural plants. Carbon dioxide through photosynthesis process. Through photosynthesis process, a lot of carbon dioxide is absorbed by your trees, and carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that is causing global warming, or so that is leading to climate change. Through agroforestry, we can reduce the climate change, or say it helps in climate change mitigation. So this is your next point, next benefit. And the last important benefit from farmers perspective is that it helps in the diversification of income and food sources. Say what happens, say these trees can be, over a period of time, once it grows, the wood from the tree can be cut and sold. The fruits from the tree can be cut and sold. So what would happen? It would increase the income of the farmers, and secondly, it would also help in the food sources. Say the fruits from the tree would act as a food source. So this will help the farmers in terms of income security as well as in terms of food security. So these are the important benefits of the of the agroforestry. So this is the end of the topic. So thank you guys.